Hello, my name is Harrington Botko. Welcome to our program. In this show, we are discussing the book, the launch in this show, Capturing the Moments with former Governor Homobono Adasa. Let's go to Angie Reyes, former Chief of Staff of Estrada going into GMA. The man who actually committed suicide, sadly. You talk of him with very high regard and with extreme respect. I would think that this man, because he turned from Estrada into GMA, and yet the way you describe him is a man who is unmovable, a man from West Point, no less. You are surprised. A learned man whose principles could not be sold, bent, or influenced.
Yes, he even went to Harvard.
Oh, no, Harvard nga.
Yeah, as a matter of
Andy West Point, Harvard. I'm sorry.
The story is that four generals, among them General Abat, General Abinina, and Commodore Apari, General Santos, asked me one time to see Angie Reyes. I said, but I don't know him. Why do you want to bring me to Angie Reyes? Sabi na, we've been trying to convince him for the past 4 months to withdraw support of Estrada. But this man does not budge. Simply because he thinks he's a better general because he's intellectual than us, and we cannot give the proper arguments. So you better come with us and argue with him. So I went to the office together with these guys. And then when I talked to Angie, Abat said, Angie, Attorney Adasa here would like to say something. I said, go ahead. General, this is our problem as of now, facing the whole country during the time of ERAP. You are the only person who could possibly help. How? He said,
withdraw support.
Yeah, you're the only one who could withdraw support from ERAP. Withdraw support? For what reasons? So I enumerated the reasons. Then finally he said, are you telling me to do it now? No, I'm not telling you to do it now because for all I know, you might decide in favor of ERAP and you'll report to him. So I'll be in trouble for inciting to sedition. So
which it is.
Which it is. Which it is. So he said, all right, if that's the case, do you recommend it? I said, no, I don't. I won't recommend it, but I'm telling you, it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. And, General, it's a choice between friendship and country. If you decide in favor of ERAP, it means that you're turning your back to the country. If you decide in favor of the country.
That's the part I found most intriguing. We have a situation where our president today refuses to appoint a new chief, a new general, a 4-star general with Purisima.
Purisima.
How important is it that your top general, your top gun, is more loyal to you than to country? Isn't this a dangerous precedent? In this case, Angie gave his life when there was some scandal or some misinterpretation. If rest in peace, for Mr. Reyes, General Reyes. In this case, Ione Pinoy, is it that important that the president gets someone who's loyal to him? Or should the president get a person who's most loyal to the country? After all, he was voted by the country.
Yes, he should choose the man who is loyal to the country. That
not
should be the
one
choice.
To him.
Not the one loyal to him.
I rest my case. I think that's straight to the point. We have Speaker Joe De Venecia, ladies and gentlemen. During the time of Marcos, he says, you say of Joe De Venecia, and this is, you were introduced to him. You say, during the time of Marcos, you made millions out of land oil, even if your company neither had land nor oil. Buti hindi ka sinipa sa labas ng kusina niya.
And then not only that, because I was in the company of his friend, Executive Secretary Edelmiro Amantes, dead now, may his soul rest in peace. And not only that, because I really wanted to support Joe, considering that he had the best qualifications to be president.
At the time, yes, at the time.
And I was saying, Joe, there are 3 major criticisms against you. That's one of them. The second is, you have a face which people cannot trust. So you have to change your face, Joe, and you cannot do it in 60 days. And third is, you are the most promising politician. Out of 10 promises, you don't fulfill 11. That's the perception. So, Joe, I suggest don't run for president. So, but the old man will support me, named Ramos.
Yes,
Ah,
Ramos.
no, Ramos will not support you because you come from the same province. And he
Oh,
just
independent,
doesn't like any competition,
In
Joe.
his- yeah.
For me, you have better qualifications to become president than Ramos. So he'll not support you.
Politically, yes.
So don't run for president, run for the Senate, and then I'll run with you. I throw in that idea. And then we will campaign for you to become Senate president. After that, you run for president. You'll get elected, but not now.
Well, sad to say, he took another advice and he went in a different way.
Yes.
The rest is history. But he's very much still around. He's very much still qualified, but he's decided to lie low for now.
Yes.
It seems.
Yeah, I'd like to repeat this, Harry, because I have seen so many personalities in this country. And if you examine their qualifications, they cannot compare with the qualifications of Joe, even on domestic problems and on international affairs. No?
I've heard
Joe
that
can
even-
handle these things better than any one of them.
I've
And
heard from the diplomatic corps he makes a big dent even today as he travels around the world and he puts it in the proper perspective. I understand he's still very active with that.
That's correct. I have not heard from him lately.
Let's go on to a very significant person, a very controversial person, Nur Miswari,
Yes.
who you've heard of in UP, but you had the final, you were able to meet with him abroad to
Yes.
actually get to sit with him. And one of the things you told him, you know, those who ignore the lessons of history are doomed to repeat it. What a pity if Chairman Nur Miswari does not learn the lessons of history, or if he does, when events have already overtaken him. Have those events overtaken him, considering the BBL? The fight, the lost insurgency, of what you want to call it, rebellion in Zamboanga, the siege that collapsed?
Yes.
Has he lost his time?
I think his time has passed. You know, I was telling him before while he was in prison in Fort Santo Domingo. I was one of his lawyers, no, lead lawyers. I was telling him, Nor, what's the matter with you? You know, Gloria is your enemy, and you just declared that you're supporting Gloria. Why is this the case? She said, no, you know, Joe de Benicia, Bert Gonzalez came to see me and told me that I will be released if
He was duped.
if I would order, I would endorse Gloria. She said, by come, you're from UP and you believe that? You know, nor in these games, because he claimed that these two guys are gentlemen. In this game, there are no gentlemen.
Politics is difficult.
There are no gentlemen. You know, in the case of your problem, this is what you should have done. I'll endorse Gloria at the gate of Fort Santo Domingo. You give me the marching orders.
Then you walk out.
Then you walk out. That should be the case. Bono, they are gentlemen. I told you, you will not be released. Then next week, he calls me. Bono, please come here. Why? They just come here. You know, I just got the call from Malacanang, from the first gentleman. He said that I should dismiss you as a lawyer before
dismiss you, yeah.
because before you could be released. I said, no, you should have dismissed me. He said, no, I cannot because you are my friend. I owe you a lot. You should have dismissed me because you are my friend. No, you just withdraw. He said, even if I withdraw, you will not be released. And true.
And true
I
enough.
withdrew. He was not
He's still
released
not
during the
released.
term of Gloria. He was not released.
But
during the term of
Nur,
Gloria.
interestingly enough, did not. He always considered you a friend and was very straightforward with you and
Yes.
loyal.
But history passed him by. Why? You know, the rebels in this country do not know one basic fact. Like the ones in the hills, they're saying surrounding the cities in the countryside, that's good for China, a big body of land. In the Philippines, where they split into archipelago, the formula is still the Leninist formula, insurrection in the cities. And more especially here, and I told Nor, what's the matter with you? You graduated from UP, you taught in UP, you don't even know how to kill a snake. You don't kill a snake by cutting the tail. You kill the snake by cutting the
cutting
head. The country that is the snake, the head is Manila, not in
Mindanao.
Mindanao. You're giving problems to us. We're getting killed. We're getting imprisoned. People are getting poorer. Devastation in Mindanao.
Mali ang venue.
Mali binyo. So he told me, but Bono, I have already grown old. If you have grown old, nor you still have 26 more years to go because Nelson Mandela stayed for 28 years and that's only the time.
Pero hindi niya kaya, sabi niya in the book.
Hindi niya kaya. That's why events have overtaken him. I'm sorry. Nor is a pretty good person. No?
Bono,
Very good person.
Governor Daza, please explain to us. I think a lot of people don't realize this. Back in the 60s, in the 50s, in UP, in the University of the Philippines, which brought out many intellectuals, a lot of the leaders in the August halls of Congress, and the Senate most especially, how is it you were all discussing, or yet the intellectuals, the top leaders, were all left-leaning and openly discussing communism? Jo Marie Sison came from the very same university, Nur Miswari, and many of the top leaders who even joined government.
Francisco Nemenso,
Nemenso,
the president
yes,
of the
exactly.
university later.
And
Yes.
yet, why was it fashionable to speak about communism? Bakit? If you did this today, we would look at you, mga komunista talaga, and look down at you. Pero in those days, hindi. Ano? Bakit? Why was it intellectual speak?
Well, it's a very, very interesting idea. Being a Marxist in those days is a note of approval. It means that you really are intellectual. You're using your brains up to the fringes of brilliance. So many people admire you, even Leonie Perez, who was chairman of the anti-Filipino activities
Imagine.
in Congress. But he was also editor-in-chief of the Collegian. He was tolerant about these things. He conducted investigation, but not of the same type as in the United States of America.
Oh, yung ginawa ni
where
JFK
people
talaga.
were really pilloried.
Hindi,
But-
tsaka imprisoned.
Yeah, imprisoned many of them. But here, open discussion. As a matter of fact, writing about it in the editorial pages of the Collegian as we're writing about these ideas, no?
So it was really a flow of a freedom of expression and understanding the concepts of a better democracy, which is ideally communism, and discussing it with it. That was the in thing.
Yeah, that's true. It's not really against the government in the sense that it was a intellectual discussion for systemic changes. No? For instance, the concept in the communist world at the time, there's such a thing as democratic centralism. When the Politburo or the Central Committee decides, there is argument in the Politburo and the Central Committee.
Which is
But-
good.
But when it is decided already, everybody should agree to the majority decision.
It is nothing like communist China today, correct?
It's nothing like
Nothing
communist-
like it.
no, it's
because
nothing like
it's very
communist China.
authoritarian pagdating doon.
Yes.
And the Politburo has become the elite and the bourgeois, and those separate. It's not for the people.
Yeah, in that sense. But during the USSR days, no, when the USSR was holding the flag for the communist movement all over the world, the principle of democratic centralism existed not only in the USSR but in many other countries in the world that adopted that particular formula. They were more democratic than the democratic countries in a sense because, like here, the oligarchy dictates what would happen. There
Yes,
is no
correct.
there is no discussion.
Using
There's
economic
discussion.
mind.
Yes.
We're going to have to take another break. You see, ladies and gentlemen, if you browse through the book or you just go through the history of the University of the Philippines, most especially, you might be misled to think that communism was the ideal that most students were going for or were idealizing. It's not necessarily right. Having read through the perceptions and capturing moments of Governor Adasa, only did I come to realize it was just the topic of the intelligentsia. Because what other greater democracy than to discuss and to find out if there is anything better? After all, was it not Winston Churchill who said, democracy is probably one of the worst ideologies, but do you have anything else? We'll be right back and we're going to go through the book, and believe me, this book has so many things to offer to you. We'll be right back.